jump's been staggering. 2019, Pitt averaged 21 points a game, near the basement of the ACC. Now they're the better records.
They're so good offensively, they've shorted Clark out on
Coach Whipple has a knack for finding strengths. Players applying these weaknesses of a defense in game is huge, Jay.
Off we go. They'll get it first. Virginia Tech decided to hand the ball to Pitt, and Kenny Pickett will have it at the 25, and our player spotlight brought to you by Gain Detergent. It is Kenny Pickett, and this kid from New Jersey can really sling it, Andre.
Yeah, he can, to the tune of 72% on the year, over 1,700 yards, and he leads the nation in touchdown passes, has only thrown one pick this year. He checks every single box, a ton of experience, starting his 45th game this afternoon.
First appearance back in 2017. This is Vincent Davis, and he is dragged down. Keyshawn Artis filling in for Dax Hollifield, who's out after the targeting penalty against Notre Dame last week. He's out for the first half. Artis takes over.
Yeah, we'll see Izzy Abanaconda as well in there at running back. Usually the starter, just going with Davis today.
Pickett over the middle. That is dropped. Taysir Mack couldn't hang on, and it's third down.
A little man-to-man here early from Justin Hamilton, Virginia Tech's defensive coordinator, and Dorian Strong in on coverage, but gonna have to harass and mix coverages against Kenny Pickett. We saw a high-profile guy coming here in week 1 in Sam Howell. This defense of Virginia Tech flat out got after North Carolina's quarterback.
They just ravaged that North Carolina offensive line, which was supposed to be very good. It was not that day. Pickett third and long. Garbutt got pancaked on the outside, and Kroll couldn't hang on. The tight end Lucas Kroll got sandwiched, and Armani Chapman got a hand in. It's fourth down.
Boy, sometimes that's all a defense needs, is to hear the praise of a highly touted quarterback coming in, throwing actually perfectly. Because if he throws that one out in front of Lucas Kroll, it's going to maybe picked off or at least knocked down. He tries to stop him with the ball to even absorb, where Kroll can absorb the hit and still have a chance to make the catch. A lot of people think, oh, that one's thrown behind him. No, it was perfectly thrown.
It's exactly what they wanted. Hamilton and the defense giving up the ball first, as this is a very short kick by Kurt Christodoulou. The wind is going to be a major factor here today, Andre. 18 miles an hour, gusts up to 40.
Yeah, and this, so far, this is working out for Justin Fuente exactly like week 1. Get Pitt's offense off the field, 3 and out. The defense, they do their job. Special teams, they do theirs, and here comes the offense with excellent field position to start the first drive.
Question is, what will the play calling look like? Braxton Burmeister to throw to the sideline. That got caught up in the wind, and it's dropped by Turner. So second down. So for a quarterback dealing with wind like this today, what are you feeling?
Well, I always like throwing into the wind because you can cut it through. You can throw a tight spiral. You don't have a lot of worries in these types of conditions. It's when my back was going with the wind, and you're trying to throw deep, the ball just seems to float. The more it gusts, the more the overthrows are going to happen.
Burmeister again. It's a short pass, not a whole lot there for Tavion Robinson. Clark, how much wind do we have down in the field?
You hear me this time?
We got you.
You got me. We'll blame it on the wind. Maybe that's why my mic lost. There's wind. Look, multiple times in pregame my hat fell off. So that tells you a lot, right?
That's it, yeah. I mean,
and I know you want that to happen, Jay.
Oh, absolutely. Bad hair day is what we're rooting for here with the Coastal on the line. Third down for Burmeister, who was injured against Notre Dame last week. He was full go this week, and he's ready to throw his third pass. High in the air, down the sideline, and incomplete for Caleb Smith, who is fighting with Damari Mathis, and Pitt's defense gives it right back to the offense.
Boy, and an excellent throw from Burmeister out to the intended Caleb Smith. A nice outside release. Then he's going to accelerate away and almost come up with a heck of a catch. But both teams really looking each other in the mirror here. 3 and out. couple of passes to start the games for both sidelines, and both defenses being a little stingy right now.
Jalen Barton back to receive this punt. He's not going to get a chance. There is a marker down as Moore got hit. Peter Moore got lit up on the punt, and we will see what the flag is. It's a 44-yard punt if it stands.
Is it running into, or is it roughing?
It is 5, I believe, is what the signal is. I think
that's what he's saying, but might give Coach Fuentes something to think about here.
For 87, defense, penalties decline, first down.
Ooh, what do you think, Andre? You could argue 4th and 5, maybe.
The ball right at about the 6-yard line, playing field position right now.
All right, we're going to be conservative early on. It might be different later. No per game for Kenny Pickett and this Pitt offense trying to get to 2-0 in the ACC. Pickett 0 for 2 his opening drive.
Yeah, 0 for 2 the opening drive. Look for Mark Whipple to call an RPO here. He's the type of quarterback that needs to get hit, needs to run and get hit before he settles himself in.
There's Izzy Abanikanda on the run to the 11. What do you think of that type of quarterback? Were you the same way?
I was the same exact way. Yeah, for as many times as we threw the ball during the game, it never felt right until you were engaged in it in some manner. And that took a run, getting tackled, get up. Now I know I'm in a football game.
Pickett, quick set. Jordan Addison, one of the top young wide receivers in the country, and you see why as he twirls twice for a first down with his 9 touchdowns this year, the sophomore out of Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah, had a solid week of practice this week in preparation for Virginia Tech, and he's had some time to heal up the last couple of weeks. He is a special player that can play just about every one of their wide receiver spots.
At a school that's very well known for its wide receivers, like Larry Fitzgerald, among others. Pickett steps up, got by Garbett. He throws on the run and has a completion across the 30 for Addison. And it's a first down for Pitt as we have a whistle.
They're retrieving a sign that blew away from one of the cheering squads here.
You never know what's going to stop play.
Shows you the arm strength of Pickett. I think he's right now maybe going into the wind, but having no problems throwing the football.
On the roll, throwing across his body and incomplete. Clark.
Andre, you were talking about Kenny Pickett wanting to get hit. Well, he was coached by his father, Ken, who was a college linebacker at Shippensburg. Coached him his whole life tough. He told me he's the type of guy that likes to put his shoulder down and let defenders feel it. Speaking of the wind, too, I've been watching all of these flags. It is a swirling wind. It's not east-west, it's not north-south. And Andre, as a quarterback, when it's swirling, what do you do?
He's got to put some zip on it. It's as simple terms as I can give you, Cart.
This is a screen the other way, and that's not going anywhere. Tayseer back. They went away from the motion man running back. So you're basically saying you just have to rip it through the wind all day.
You have to rip it because the last thing you want is, especially on in-cutting routes, the last thing you want is for the gust to catch the ball and keep it in the air. Now all of a sudden it's in the chest of a safety on the back end. Yeah, you've got to make sure you put some velocity on it today.
Pickett wearing the gloves as this is very close to the line to gain. They're going to mark him about a half-yard short. Melky Stovall just short. So now you go for it here?
I think you do. Yeah, you've had some success running the football on a couple of occasions here early. And you got a quarterback you trust. You got an offensive line. It's got a lot of experience up front. I think you do it. And a defense that's playing out of its mind this year.
Branson Taylor just came on as an extra offensive lineman.
Let's see if they go under center here and just quarterback sneak it with Kenny Pickett.
We saw Nebraska earlier on go shotgun, 4th and goal at the 1. This is Pickett. Oh, what a surge. That is a first down in a big way for Pitt.
Yeah, they think a lot of Owen Drexel, their center. And so you got trust there. You got trust in the quarterback. And, you know, it gives him an opportunity to get his footing in this game without taking a big shot. Just enough movement up front to pick up the first down. Now you're back to business.
Apologies to Frankie Valli, but Drexel and Kenny Pickett are Jersey boys as well. Montclair and Oakhurst, to the sideline. Another first down. Jared Wayne this time, the junior from Ontario.
When he makes it look so easy, and now in his 4th year as the starter for this program at quarterback, and just throwing dimes. I mean, the timing, the accuracy, you know, throwing guys open or throw balls in the air before receivers come out of breaks, takes a lot of confidence and a lot of chemistry.
Very decisive. Kenny Pickett loading up to throw. Slid by Pollard, and now he takes off. Kenny Pickett into a slide, and they're going to start the slide at the 32, so he's a yard short. He sort of got the spike stuck.
Yeah, and this is what gets him going right here. You know, manipulating the pocket, moving around. Defenders are in his face. He's unfazed. Eyes are still down the field, and then he gets close to a first down. But now Kenny Pickett starting to settle into this ball game.
Virginia Tech missed an opportunity by going 3 and out on that drive after they stopped Pitt. 10th play of the drive. Abanikanda cuts it inside for a first down.
When you see a Mark Ripple offense, and it's usually balanced. I mean, almost 50-50. Why are they it's so different with 165 rushing, 389 through the air? It's because of the guy wearing number 8 and all the guys on the outside. He told me this week, hey, we got some guys that can really, really run and catch on the outside.
Check down through the hands of Abanikanda. Second down coming up. You saw Alan Tisdale, the linebacker, come into the picture on the coverage. Dax Hollifield out for the first half. That could be big for Virginia Tech's defense.
It really can. I'm anxious to see him because he's a captain of this defensive unit, a guy that makes plays sideline to sideline, and truly one of their leaders.
Pocket holds up again. This for Stovall, and he is not down yet. They're going to give him the 26 and say forward progress stopped by Strong there. It'll be 3rd down, about 7.
That route for Stovall should have been running at the very least 6 yards. He cuts it up or cuts it a little short, which makes it a 3rd and long situation here for Pitt when it would have been, you know, it should be around 3rd and 4.
Why'd he cut it short?
I think it was the man-to-man coverage, and you just kind of panic a little bit to get yourself open.
Abanikanda on the run.
Wow.
And he weaves his way to a first down. The New York Player of the Year out of Brooklyn a couple of years ago gets 14 picking his way.
Yeah, unbalanced line to the right side, and they'll bring in a 6th offensive lineman at times to play tight end when they're going to run the football, and there they do it with Abanikanda. Kind of look like Wake Forest's offense with that hesitation, the mesh, the patience.
They'll go right back there to the outside. Abanikanda tripped up by Nasir Peoples, the leading tackler for Virginia Tech.
Now Pitt kind of has Virginia Tech on its heels. Got to be a little more aggressive defensively. Excellent job by Craig Cradell, the right guard, pulling around out in front, throwing a heck of a block to free him up. But they don't know where it's coming from right now, Jason.
No, they don't. Addison up at the top of your screen with Chapman. Pickett looks that way, and he goes short for the tight end for a touchdown to the freshman, Gavin Bartholomew.
They use Bartholomew in a lot of different ways at tight end, as you mentioned. They'll put him in the backfield as a fullback, H-back type at 6'4", 260, and this leaking out. They try to bring some pressure. They being Virginia Tech bringing pressure in the form of Connor, one of their better players. He's unable to get there, gets picked off, and it's a heck of a job by Pickett to find Bartholomew.
Yeah, that's a 15-play, 94-yard drive. So the 0 for 2 on the opening drive was a mirage, and Kenny Pickett, who's thrown at least 5 touchdown passes on average the last centennial. And the fireworks have come from Pitt. So far, it's 7-0. Gavin Bartholomew's first career touchdown for the Panthers. He is the 8th Pittsburgh Panther with a touchdown catch this year. And all those receivers are very happy to have Kenny Pickett, certainly with 20 touchdowns this year. The wind blew the ball off the tee for Mr. Sauls. Ben Sauls, the freshman out of the state of Ohio. Blackshear will return from the 2. And he is tripped up and dropped right around the 15-yard line. Back to the touchdown.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look at this. Jamari Connor is going to come off the edge. He's the blitzer, kind of hanging out at the bottom of the screen. Well, how does the play work? What makes it work? It's the unselfish block of Abanaconda that's going to peel back and pick off Connor to give Kenny Pickett the time necessary to find Bartholomew. You got a linebacker covering a tight end that's late. The ball's out on time. He's got no chance at getting out there to defend it. But the unselfish play of his running back, Abanaconda, makes the play happen.
Blackshear the catch, and 2 Panthers get there very quickly. Wendell Davis was the first one in, and second down coming up. When Kenny Pickett's throwing like that, he looks like he's conducting an orchestra.
Yeah, he really is. And I honestly can't understand why he's not being mentioned in Heisman-type conversations. I mean, all the stuff is there. Playing against the competition is there, and his team leads the nation in points scored per game at 52 yards per game at well over 550.
Burmeister loads it up down the middle and nearly intercepted by Eric Hallett, the safety. Third down. I bet you his name would be in that had they been undefeated and not lost to Western Michigan.
Yeah, Eric Hallett does a nice job of playing the middle of the field. Watching and reading the quarterback's eyes and then adjusting at the last minute to get a hand on the football and bat it away. But he's the bell cow on the back end. Makes all the calls and adjustments back there for Randy Bates in this aggressive Pitt style of defense.
They've got some great defensive linemen have come through there as this goes to the sideline, and Caleb Smith and a falling grab that was really necessary for the Hokies, who had gained a total of 1 yard before that play.
And a nice job of standing in by Braxton Burmeister and throwing this completion for a first down to the outside, away from the defender. And he's going to have to be, going to have to recognize a lot of different looks today, because that's what Randy Bates will throw at him. Just about every defensive look's going to look like cover zero, whether they're bringing pressure or dropping back. Have to really recognize coverage today.
7 straight passes for the Hokies, and this one is all the way across midfield for Dwayne Lofton with his second grab of the year, a gain of 30.
Excellent job. This is what happens when you play aggressively on defense, when you're bringing pressure. You leave guys one-on-one with nobody back, and so if you can complete them, if the offensive line, which Virginia Tech, very good, can protect up front, you're going to have your opportunity to hit shot plays.
You just said it, man coverage a lot of the day from Pitt, as there is the first called run. It is Holston to the 40-yard line. The Virginia Tech running backs against Notre Dame last week, 20 carries, 46 yards. That's got to be better.
Yeah, it's got to be better today against the style of defense that Pitt likes to employ. 2 orders of business today. And they've got to win on the outside, which they've been able to do here, especially on this particular drive, and then protect long enough to get receivers down the field where BB3 can spin the football.
Second down run. One more time, Holston, and he gets to about the 36. There were some questions after Burmeister said last week the arm went numb against Notre Dame. He came out. We saw Blumrick come in. He went out, but a bunch of passes, 7 of them for Burmeister already.
And he looks to be fine. Yeah, he told us this week when we had a chance to talk to him that he was healthy and ready to go. And I'll tell you what, the velocity on the football tells me that's exactly right.
Holston stacked up. They try to push the pile, but the marker will be at the 35. So the ball will be at the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th and 1. What's your call?
I think you go for it here. When you have a high-octane offense and Pitt on the other sideline, you want to make sure that you don't want to get in a shootout or have to match points, but you sure want to take advantage when you have it and convert here.
Very tight formation. They're going to run, and did he get there is the question. It's going to be very close.
I think they're going to have to measure this one, Jace. Inside the 35, very close to the 34-yard line. About 40% on the year for Virginia Tech, just 2 of 5 on 4th downs this year.
The near side official had it just short of the 34, and it looks like I mean, this is going to be as close as can be, but he may be short, Andre. They're going to measure. Looks maybe about a quarter of a yard short.
Pitt's players are saying he's short. Virginia Tech players saying that they have it. Like the fourth down calls by both coordinators. Brad Cornelson, the offensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, didn't waste any time. Hey, we get the ball handling. Let's just let one of our better athletes handle it under center.
Let's see. Here we go. He is just short. Pitt holds the line.
It's as short as you can be without having the ball touch.
Wow. Man, big turn of events. Pitt with the lead in the ball when we come back.
An NHL doubleheader on ESPN.
This studio update brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. #2 Iowa, dangerous game with Purdue. Golick, Aiden O'Connell makes a play.
Aiden O'Connell with a little juke in the middle of the field, using the ref as a shield.
12 straight wins for Iowa. Jason, it's over on ABC.
We look forward to seeing how that one ends.
Hawkeyes playing some ball.
Pitt off the turnover on downs. Maybe take a shot here.
Yeah, well, look out for Jordan Addison at the top.
Pickett loads of time. Now he has to escape the pocket. Kenny Pickett turning upfield, and he's out of bounds to keep his feet. He'll lose about a yard as Jordan Williams, the Clemson transfer, took him to the paint.
That's exactly where he was looking. Addison running a deep route down the numbers, and Pickett was looking there. Got flushed out of the pocket, which took his eyes away just long enough. But Virginia Tech really needing a stop right here.
That was Armani Chapman, who was on Addison on that first down play. Officially a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Short set to Kroll, former San Francisco Giants draft pick in the 34th round, as a gain of 6.
Tackle by Peoples. Kroll's a big guy. He is a big dude at 6'6", 260. A matchup nightmare for a lot of linebackers because he can run. He's athletic, good hands. They'll motion him all around the formation.
He looks like Chevy Troutman, who used to play basketball in Pitt.
Yeah, he's a
Big
good
old
player.
stocky dude.
He is a good football playing Johnny.
3rd down for Pitt. Pickett scanning, steps up, fires incomplete. He didn't see the pressure from the second level that was around the corner, and it's 4th down.
Breon Murray with a coverage, and nice job by Virginia Tech. You don't make it on 4th and 1. You get a 3 and out to produce a punt. And some complimentary football defense taking care of that offensive unit right now. Both teams started this game with 3 and outs, and Virginia Tech forcing another one.
Felt like the better defensive line might win this game, and now Robinson back to receive this punt.
Oh boy.
He hangs on. Robinson trying to cut it back. He had a return for a touchdown earlier this year against Richmond. And it all goes into Pitt Island. I think it's going to get completed, and it doesn't. It doesn't happen. You can't go.
Elijah Wan slapping him out of the paint.
All we were missing was a finger wag. But they're a very good man coverage team, and we'll see what Virginia Tech can do after 16 yards on the net of that punt from Christodoulou. Burmeister loads up a shot, and incomplete for Turner. The entirety of Blacksburg VA wants a flag, and they're not going to get it against Williams.
Marquez Williams in coverage, and that's why we talk about Pitt Island, because their corners are on an island a lot. And it looked to me like Trey Turner, for a split second, didn't think that Burmeister was coming to him. He slowed up, and that's why the ball was overthrown. Had he just kept running, it would have been a perfectly thrown ball to number 11, Trey Turner.
Penalty markers don't make it to tropical landscapes like Pitt Island.
Not a lot.
Play action. Burmeister to throw again. The pocket collapses. And Baldonado spikes him down. Haba Baldonado, the native of Rome, gets himself a sack.
And that's going to be his now 4.5 sacks on the year, because that one's behind the line of scrimmage. His job is just continuing to work, and found his way right to the quarterback, Burmeister.
Third and 11. Make the screen one way, back to Robinson, who's tripped up right at midfield. Big tackle by Servassier Dennis, because he had some momentum.
He is a guy that Randy Bates told us sees the game through his eyes. He's a versatile linebacker, and you saw it on that play, redirecting himself, making a nice play kind of in space. Can play all 3 linebacker spots on the field in this Pitt defense.
More to punt for Barton. Barton backpedaling to the 10. He shakes free to the 15 and out of bounds short of the 20-yard line. So Virginia Tech squanders good field position again. Over on ABC later on tonight on the ESPN app as well. Oklahoma stunned Texas last week, and now they got the old quarterback controversy in Norman. Caleb Williams in for Spencer Rattler. We'll see if that maintains for 60 minutes tonight. 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. The Horned Frogs and the Sooners. What do you make of that whole deal down there?
Well, it's a game that Oklahoma should win and should control, and then you give Williams a chance to build some confidence going forward through Oklahoma's schedule if he does indeed start for Rattler today. But it shows you got to take care of business when, with all the hype that comes with playing the position.
Banacanda showing the speed to the outside. He was a great 100-meter guy, the city champion in New York, and you see, to turn it upfield for 8 yards, the agility.
Yeah, and it looked like Virginia Tech defenders had angles on Banacanda, and all of a sudden he's around the corner, and it's now, second down and short, 2nd and 2. Showing you that speed, that 100-meter speed that you just talked about.
There's Addison on the outside. Pitt fans just love the bubble screen. They really do. Pitt fans love nothing more than a good bubble screen.
Well,
it gets them the first down.
He's going to get a lot of stuff, and it comes in forms of bubble screens, end arounds, just hitches, whatever, to get the ball in his hands, because he's such a dynamic playmaker. Whether it's shot plays down the field, he'll touch it. Last week, 6 times, 117 yards receiving and a touchdown catch.
Flag comes in. I was joking, by the way. Pitt fans like the bubble screen as much as they love the Pirates bullpen.
Full start. Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Kenny Pickett does a weekly show on the internet through Rivals, and he was being interviewed about that. And he said, look, the bubble screen is in the playbook because it opens things up down the field for us later in the game.
Run a couple of bubble screens and then pump one out there and have the receiver that's blocking just shield the block and then take off. It's usually there if you're throwing a handful of bubble screens to set it up.
Pickett climbing the pocket by Sling TV. It's evidently karaoke quarter here in Blacksburg. Big road tests later on for Ole Miss, for NC State, and for the Sun Devils, along with Alabama, Andre. Who's in the most danger on the road of those 4?
Oh, boy, on the road. Maybe Ole Miss going into Knoxville. Arizona State, maybe. That's the one, going to Utah. That one's going to be tough.
That is a tough trip. 2nd down for Kenny Pickett. A short set to the 35, Jared Wayne. And it'll be 3rd down coming up for Pitt. Look, Virginia Tech's defense giving up 114 total yards in the first quarter, but they're hanging around.
Yeah, and keeping Pitt out of the end zone. This is the fourth Pitt drive, a 3-and-out, a touchdown drive, and then a 3-and-out. Now here they are working again.
Another big block by Abanikanda. A marker comes in. Wayne is across the 45.
Not sure if this one's gonna stand though. Thrown right in that area where Abanikanda was working. Pitt's already walking back.
Yeah, Abanikanda went low.
Not only are these receivers
foul.
fast.
Number 2, Offense.
That's who they got.
15-yard penalty. Third down.
Got him for tripping. Not only are they fast, guys like Jared Wayne, but they've got some size at 6'3", 210. Watch Abanikanda work here. They get him for tripping. He misses, or he picked up Connor earlier, missed him there because he was going to throw. Connor went around him, and he just left the old leg out there to trip him up. And this is where Virginia Tech, Justin Fuente, their defensive coordinator, Justin Hamilton, is preaching, get off the field on third down.
Abanikanda goes down, and it'll be punt time for Pittsburgh. And one of the leaders of this punt team is the long snapper, Cal Adamitis, who has done some great work this season partnering with a hospital in Pittsburgh. Clark?
Yes, Jason, Cal announced a project named Cal's Kids, which is a campaign to raise money for UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. Over 1,000 kids in this year alone be treated for cancer at UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. They're a never-ending beacon of light for people who are fighting tough fights in our city, Cal said. The goal, based on his number, 94, to raise $94,000 for children's cancer. If it happens by the end of the season, Cal's going to chop off those long brown locks, which if you ask teammates and people around the program, that's his trademark. Well done, Cal. Well done.
Yeah, I love it when guys get in the community and lend a helping hand. 55 consecutive games played by Cal.
He's from Central Catholic, which is Dan Marino's high school in Pittsburgh, and there you see some pictures of what he's done and continuing to raise money. Great stuff from Cal Adamitis, the long snapper.
That's not an easy haircut to make right there. He's got some long locks, as Clark was telling us.
Oh, we're gonna have to get Clark Shears out for that. Here is Blackshear on the run. Clark, during lacrosse season, used to cut the hair of some players and coaches. Clark, you want to jump in on that, maybe?
Yeah, I would love to cut Cal's hair. I want to cut the big cat's hair, Andre. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there's not a lot here.
Next to you, the big cat.
There's not a lot here.
I'm afraid of what it would look like, Clark, when you got finished with him.
Yeah, look, when you sit down with someone and you cut their hair, it is a conversation that really doesn't exist in this day and age, right? Everyone's on their phones and preoccupied. When you sit in a chair with someone, you have a real conversation.
Love that. Thank you, Clark, for most of that report.
That's one of Clark's rules, that you can't have your phone out. If he's cutting your hair, you got to sit there and have a conversation with him.
Another one of Clark's rules is get in the car within 3 seconds when he's behind the wheel, or else you're going to end up on a pavement. 3rd and 4 for Virginia Tech.
This is where they don't mind living in 3rd and medium, because it possesses the football, eating up a little clock, and the longer they're on the field, the less likely they have to face Kenny Pickett and Pitt's offense.
Trying to avoid a 3 and out already today for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they need to convert right here.
Braxton Burmeister to throw. The Oregon transfer into that wind, and it's incomplete, well short. Turner was the intended target. That's what you're talking about. You have to rip it on a day like this.
Yeah,
right?
you got to let it go. And Turner's thinking, I'm even, I'm leaving with the defender, and Burmeister's just kind of floating it up there where it's okay. Maybe you can come back for it. No, you got to throw it out there because the receivers aren't slowing down.
We got a false start on the punt.
False start. Number 27. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
You know, it's interesting. When we talked to Burmeister this week, he said on deep balls he wanted to, if anything, leave it a little shorter for his receivers to come back. That's tough on a windy day like this to do right, isn't it?
I was kind of, scratching my head when he said that. I really didn't know exactly what he meant, because that's a frustrating thing for receivers when they are full speed, having to wait or come back to a football.
Oh, maybe a trap game. You think Kentucky's got a shot against Georgia?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. When we really get into that one today, I'm going Wildcats in that game.
You are?
Yes.
You like the upset?
I do.
Davis across the 40-yard line. You think the wind's affecting the quarterbacks today, Andre?
I think both have been kind of able to manage it, with the exception of the last pass by Braxton Burmeister. That one kind of hung up
that was a little affected by the wind. But I think for the most part, those guys are doing a heck of a job.
Here comes Barno. Pickett got it away in time, and now the question is, where's the progress for Jacques Louis? He gave back the yardage that he had. He got knocked back by Daly, and so he won't have the first down.
He took a shot. He was closer to it, got knocked off, and then rerouted and started to make some moves again, and that's what lost him yardage, and should be short here.
Pickett sees the pressure up the middle from Fuga, gets away from it, and incomplete for Mack. It was a little high and a little hot, but Mack couldn't hang on.
This is what this defensive front will do to good quarterbacks. And they're not getting Kenny Pickett on the ground, but they are forcing him off his launching point and making him move and throw on the move. Now, he's excellent in the pocket, buying time, but that starts to add up over a period of time when you're having to do that over and over and over again.
We saw that happen to Sam Howell the first week of the season, and North Carolina still has really yet to recover.
I laugh at myself when I say over and over and over again. It reminds me of Marshawn Lynch running through your face mask.
We're going to get you some Skittles.
Over and over again.
Here's Robinson, wanted to return it, and he kept his feet for a moment. Down he goes. We'll see what other running back.
Halfway through the year, Desmond Ridder atop the field, ranked third in the nation. Then Kenny Pickett, an arm talent that not about the late nation knows about. Bryce Young with 20 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. Malik Willis, I think the best dual threat quarterback in the country. And then rounding it out with Matt Corral, who has yet to throw an interception this year. All guys playing at a very, very high level right now.
Guys you will see later on tonight on our airwaves, as Malachi Thomas, the young running back, has checked in after 3 carries against Notre Dame last week. Keyshawn King is out today. It's a gain of 2 on the first carry today for Thomas.
Just trying to slow down Pitt's defensive unit. By that, they're so aggressive, hiding out around the line of scrimmage, showing you cover 0 all the time. That's no safety in the middle of the field. And it looks that way again, but they'll get to zone here from it.
Burmeister up at the line. Taking a while. Tight end Gallo in motion. Burmeister, that ball looked like it got tipped at the line, and it's incomplete.
Got tipped, or the wind gusted and made it do something crazy. But that ball, it went up and then directly to the ground.
Yeah, that, you know what, Andre? It did not get tipped. It was just the wind that it looked like a hang glider.
That's even more of a reason when you're going, from right to left here, as we're watching it, or we're looking at it that way. You've got to establish a running game.
3rd and long on the rollout against the grain. Burmeister whistles it incomplete, and the crowd getting a little restless for offense for the Hokies, who have 61 total yards on 20 plays from scrimmage.
And only 2 first downs here in the first half on a bunch of possessions, at least 4 possessions here so far. 4 3-and-outs for this Virginia Tech offense.
3 of them in a row, as again the wind just playing havoc on the entire football game. That's a very short punt, as a marker has come in on the Moore kick. If it stands, it's going to be outstanding field position for Pitt.
Looking at Brandon George, one of the reserve linebackers for Pitt.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, number 34, receiving team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Correction, Solomon DeShields is the guy that gets called for the personal foul.
That is a huge penalty, just huge.
Just kind of robs you of 15 yards of field position right in the middle of the field. Just your eyes there, and the ball's already out of bounds.
Don't need it. Big game in the ACC Coastal. Each team 1-0 in the league. 7-0 Pitt. Getting the ball back after the penalty. A net of 42 off a 27-yard punt. Penalty was big. Kenny Pickett from the 41. And they'll keep it on the ground on a first down run for Abanikanda. This wind is playing tricks on quarterbacks and punters alike right now.
Yeah, it really is. And right now the wind's to the back of Pitt. They're able to do just about whatever they want offensively, yet they're still got a running game going.
Abanikanda. First down and then some. Still going through the car wash. And it's a first down. Jake Cradle was his personal leader on that run.
Cradle with an excellent block. He called his name a couple of occasions. Leading the way. Good job of pulling and getting himself out in front.
Abanikanda this time behind Marcus Minor. And it's second down coming up.
They're doing just the opposite. Mark Whipple, which is why he's been so good for so long. At Virginia Tech, thinking Cody Pickett, throwing it around the park. And they're just handing it off underneath and letting the big offensive line go to work here for Pitt up front.
They're going with some tempo here. They've ditched the walk over to the sideline for the moment. Bartholomew in as a second tight end fullback. Here comes Pollard. Barno got there as well. And it's third down. Virginia Tech's defensive line is keeping them in the ball game single-handedly.
And a lot of it. Barno got there that time, but it's been the defensive tackles. Fuga, Pollard, Williams, Kendricks, all those guys in the middle get good push up front where quarterbacks can't really step up and throw the football, or you're stepping right into an area where there's a defensive line.
They might go for half of it here, or go for it on fourth down if they don't get the full 8. It's a screen. It's tipped by Garbett. Taysir Mack eventually lost yards, but he didn't want it to get intercepted. So it's fourth down coming up for Pitt.
And where you thought about going for it if you were able to get half, that's out of the equation now with that tip. Again, heck of a play by Garbett. We see Barno make a play the play before, and now it's the other defensive end on the other side in Garbett that makes a heck of a play that's going to force a punt here.
Taiwan Garbett talked to us extensively this week about his love for football.
That was a good visit, wasn't it?
It really was. A really impressive kid who plays very hard for his dad, Augusto, who had some health challenges last year. Taiwan opted out, but you can see his love for football shine through as that is a touchback into the end zone. And Virginia Tech trying. Kevin, thank you here. Braxton Burmeister let it go short, and it's incomplete. Pried free by Hallett. Tavion Robinson nearly pulled it in, and it's second down. He did not complete the catch.
Well, I mean, he had his hands on it. These are the ones that you have to have a receiver come up with. Battling the wind, trying to throw down the field. You want to keep that as an option all game long, but you got to have some guys catch some passes for you.
Slant is intercepted. There's a marker down, though.
Yeah.
Let's see if it stands.
I have interference on Cam Bright working against Robinson inside in the slot. Just knocked him off a route, which is why no receiver was there. And Burmeister thought he was going to have Robinson on a slant route. He was just taken out.
Yeah, Cam Bright just.
There is no foul for defensive pass.
Whoa! Oh my goodness.
First down.
No foul for interference. Let's see.
Yeah, I can't believe it, and I understand Justin Fuentes' his frustration. You're gonna watch 38 just take out 9 here. This takes him out. Well, it kind of looked like from that angle Robinson slips.
So the interception for Hallett stands. Burmeister was getting ready to throw. The ball hadn't been released as yet, and so no interference.
And this is where Pickett will take a shot. Great field position. The opponent's 29, big turnover, sudden change, and he's got a dynamic receiver or two or three in Addison, Mack, and Wayne.
Addison's in the slot as it's raining boos at Lane Stadium. There are Addison and Wayne. Addison, one of the best touchdown makers in the pass game in the FBS. Davis gets slung down by Amare Barno, and it's second down.
This defense has played tremendously during the first half. I know they gave up the touchdown on the 94-yard drive, but from that point, it's been, they played outstanding.
Davis can't find a hole, and he is slammed down again. This is Jordan Williams, the defensive tackle, and this explosive Pitt offense still has not had a big play today.
I was kind of shocked that with this type of field position, that the Panthers are going to the ground. I mean, take a shot. You got an angry defense back on the field because they're out there sooner than they really wanted to be. That's when you take a shot at them. But you're going man across the board here. Throw it around right now.
Here comes the crowd. Third down for Kenny Pickett. He goes sideline, a battle for it at the edge, and it's brought in by Wayne.
That will make some Sports Center highlight later today. I mean, excellent coverage on the outside by Ferguson. And he that's just, I want him more than you want him.
Now we have a whistle.
Early on the field.
And they're going to go to replay.
Is under further review.
So let's see if the completion does stand.
Actually, Waller, who was in coverage.
Normally number 2, wearing the 25,
yeah.
Frank Beamer's number today.
It's a catch.
Did he have the hand underneath when he went down to the ground? Let's see.
There's no doubt. I mean, this is catching it like a grown man. Hand in there trying to swat it away. It doesn't move. He completes the catch. He's still in bounds.
As long as it already was
After further
controlled.
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
So if you see, there's the call. If you see the ball graze the ground, that is legal still to catch the pass if the ball has already been controlled. So there is the first big play for Pitt. It goes for 28 yards, and it's first and goal.
Knew they would go down, push it down the field at some point. I just didn't think it would take until third down to do it.
There it was at a big moment. Pickett keeps it, and he's got the end zone.
It's one of the parts of his game that's very underrated. You see him move around in the pocket and buy himself time. He can also run the football, and you get down close to the goal line, and you're right here, and that's a bonus to an offense. Everybody bites and goes down inside, including Alan Tisdale, the linebacker, and that gave Pickett a clean alley to get himself around the corner and into the end zone.
Sam Scarton for the extra point. And Pitt's lead grows to 14-0. Virginia Tech will have it out of halftime. Hey, kick off your Week 6 NFL. Virginia got a win earlier over Duke to move to 3-2 in the league.
And the thing about this one, it's basically not only just a game lead, but a game and a half with a head-to-head taking place. So that's why this one, Pitt Virginia Tech, so big this afternoon.
And if Miami loses that game against North Carolina, then that's another 2-loss team. So you're really up 2 games if you're Pitt or Virginia Tech. And Blacksburg and the special teams coverage has been outstanding for Pitt. Into the studio, Kevin Connors.
For our Dr. Pepper Fansville studio.
outscoring their opponents 161-9. Yikes.
They're up 14-0 there. Meantime, 5-1 BYU, 5-1 Baylor. Dylan Doyle from 2 yards out, pushing the pile. Baylor leading this one 17-7 over on ESPN. Jason?
Kevin, thank you very much. This is Turner for Virginia Tech across the 30 for a first down. You can hear the excitement in Golick's voice because he was in Syracuse last night. I can just feel it. He's got the Central New York, Onondaga County all over. He really does.
I'm surprised that Kentucky a little lifeless today against Georgia. I just tell you just how good Georgia is.
That defense has been stifling. Burmeister gets crashed down at the 35. Sorry.
Yeah, talk about a stifling defense. How about the Pitt defense holding the Virginia Tech offense to 75 yards in the first half? I spoke to Randy Bates this week, and in our conversation, he said it best. He calls this defense, he's the defensive coordinator, the no-name defense. There's never been a player named Defensive Player of the Week more than once this season, and they're deep. They play with their hair on fire, and a lot of the players, they don't want to come out because they know the next guy behind them is ready to take their spot. The competition is huge.
Yeah, they compete weekly, Clark, for spots. It's not like you're an automatic starter 1 week till week 6 or you get hurt. No, it's every week you have to compete for your starting position. And I asked him to describe his defense. He says, hey, we're an attacking press quarters team that will come after the quarterback over and over. Everything's going to look like cover zero, and we affect the game from a defensive effort. That is huge. That lets you know just how aggressive Randy Bates and this Pitt defense is.
His defensive tackle, Keyshawn Camp, out of Lakeland, Florida, is down right now. Yeah,
big talent.
Well, I mean, they have turned out defensive linemen over and over again at Pitt. This Camp came in with a sack to his name. He had a season-ending injury against Virginia 2 years ago, and he's going to have to get help to come off the field.
Good to see him at least up and moving and working his way towards the sideline. You talk about those, they had 2 All-Americans leave for the NFL, were 2nd and 3rd round draft picks at defensive end, and how do you get those guys? Well, we develop long, thin guys at D end that are fast and can run. And that's what they believe up front, and it has worked for Pat Narduzzi.
Burmeister had it tipped, nearly picked off over the middle. Brandon Hill, the redshirt sophomore, got his mitts on it.
One of the few times you'll see Pitt play zone.
Hey, we just got the finger wag, by the way, that we were missing from Pitt Island earlier.
Kimbe Mutombo finger wag. But yeah, Burmeister's going to stare this one down, and you see Hill right in the middle of the field, just reading the quarterback's eyes. And nice break on the football.
Burmeister on 3rd down, little comeback route, and it's right at the stick, and it's Tavion Robinson for the first down, Virginia Tech.
We've seen Robinson make that catch. We saw Turner a couple of downs ago make a similar type catch on that same sideline. They might be on to something, going after Ari Mathis. He is their best cover corner, and I don't know that I would mess with him a whole lot.
It's a big drive for Virginia Tech, by the way, with the Hokies getting the ball back after halftime. Baldonado after Blackshear, and down he goes. Patrician finished the deal after Baldonado got a hand on him.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to take what's there. They force him to bubble back. And it's Baldonado that's there, forces him to bubble around rather than cut up the field, and that's what led to the loss. But tremendous penetration up the field by this Pitt defensive line. Reestablishing the line of scrimmage has given Virginia Tech fits.
Saw the Italian flag on the back of the helmet for Baldonado new this week out of Rome. Free runner came, that was Mathis, and it's incomplete behind the intended target, Turner. You're stomping in the booth here, Andre.
I thought Burmeister could have run that one. Once he escaped and got outside, as athletic as he is, one of the faster players on this team, that he would keep it and turn it into something where it's at least 3rd and a lot shorter than what it is right now. 3rd and 14 would have been about 3rd and 7, maybe 6.
They've got to get to the Pitt 47 as Pitt rushes 4. Baldonado was coming. Here comes Alexander, and down he goes. Deslin Alexander ends the play. Servassier Dennis was there first, and they are booing here at Blacksburg now. This offense, which has been ineffective to say the least in the first half.
What a reason to cheer. Haven't been given much of it, and they realize what's awaiting on the other sideline. One of the better quarterbacks in this country.
Barton, and I believe he fair caught that ball. Barton waved for the fair catch. The official saw what he thought was a fair catch signal, and they do stop the play. A legal fair catch signal, you have to wave twice over your shoulder
Receiver
with a
gave an
hand.
invalid signal. By rule, the ball doesn't come down in that spot. First down.
So there's the official word. College football Saturday continues on ABC and the ESPN app later on. Number 4 Oklahoma after a Red River win last week, trying to avoid the upset against Gary Patterson's Horned Frogs. Saturday night game presented by Capital One. Any chance for the upset for TCU?
I don't think so. I think Oklahoma's awake now, and well, I think somebody will upset them along the way. I don't think it will be today.
Kenny Pickett, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Easy does it over the middle for Addison, and a first down for Jordan Addison. When he is done, he may be one of the best receivers to come through this school.
The revolutions on this ball out of the hand of Kenny Pickett. Kenny two gloves Pickett.
Kenny 2 gloves. I like it. Pickett wants to run this time, and he goes head first to the 45. I mean, you think about the receivers who've come through here. Tyler Boyd,
Yeah.
Dietrich Gels, Antonio Bryant, Larry Fitzgerald, among others. Addison has that kind of talent, it seems like.
And Addison's just a sophomore, listed as a sophomore. 6 foot, 175 pounds. And mentioned it, they move him all over the place.
Blitz came from the linebacker, and eventually Tisdale does get the hit on Pickett. Pollard was there as well.
Well, the defensive tackles again starting to really have an effect on this game. Fuga, you called his name earlier. Pollard, in this instance, helping out on the tackle.
3 timeouts each. Abanikanda gets the outside again, looks toward the defense, and just traipses down the sideline for a first down for Pitt on a gain of 17.
Oh, a nice block by Carter Warren. He got just enough of a defender on the outside, I think it was Tisdale, that allowed Abanikanda to turn the corner. And when he turns it, the speed, forget about it.
Talk about easy speed on.
Oh yeah, make guys that make it look easy, like they're barely running. Those are the fast ones, because they're always pulling away while they're running.
And he knew it. I mean, he was looking inside field side as he ran down the sideline. Timeout, Virginia Tech. Into the studio, Kevin and Golick.
Jason, coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, we'll check in on the #1 team in America, Georgia, going up against fellow unbeaten Kentucky. We'll get Golick's thoughts on this Dogs D, plus the #2 team in the country, Iowa, losing right now at home, and a couple of fantastic rushing days individually from the Cincinnati and LSU star. All coming up. Jason, will you join us for the Geico Halftime Report?
And we will, Kevin Connors. Thank you very much.
Do you think there was an overreaction to Alabama losing to Texas A&M? Like, where are they, 5?
Yeah.
Alabama's not 5th in the country.
They lost.
But yeah, they lost, but they're not the. Who are you going to take, Alabama or Iowa?
Right now, I'd take Iowa.
I thought, no, you wouldn't.
I like the undefeated
there's no
teams
way.
getting credit.
There's no
I'd
way
take
you-
Coastal Carolina over Alabama.
But if you're betting your money,
well, that's not.
you're taking Alabama.
That's not how I
if you're
roll.
as smart as I give you credit for being.
Yeah, thank you. Kenny Pickett on first down. pressure in his face. Down the sideline, wide open man Wayne for the touchdown.
That ball was thrown before Wayne turned up the field. He's running a wheel route, is out and up the sideline, and when he went out, the ball was already in the air from Pickett. Knowing exactly what route was coming, and just lays it, puts a little bit of air under it for Wayne. Well, I tell you what, he's pressured by Garbett, but stands in there and lets one go early for his receiver, Jared Wayne.
Kenny Pickett's awareness of what's going on in his offense and his receivers.
Third year with Mark Whipple, starting to pay dividends.
You know, Justin Fuentes said it to us as well. He said this is the kind of guy that shows the dividends that get paid for staying an extra year in college football.
He told us also that he's watching the first-round pick when he's watching that, you know, the tapes of Kenny Pickett, and I could not agree more.
Really? You think first-round talent?
No doubt. You started as many games as he has, the anticipation of throws that, like the last one he just made, it's unreal. Unreal. And you see that continuously throughout his tape.
Clark, you talked to Kenny Pickett this week. What did you get from him?
I think it's a situation where a quarterback and offensive coordinator have the same mind. I mean, Andre, you mentioned it's year 3 with Whipple and Pickett together. It's year 5 at Pitt for Kenny Pickett. But the first year, they averaged 21 points a game. It was near the basement of the ACC. Now they're at 52 points a game, the best in America. And when you have a player like Kenny Pickett who has the arm talent and the football IQ, and you look at the track record of a guy like Mark Whipple everywhere he's been, what have they done? They've produced crazy points.
You saw Kenny Pickett, Clark, take that hit. The story goes that he played youth soccer back in the day before his football career developed here to Pitt, as the wind allows me some more time to tell this story. Kenny Pickett played youth soccer, but they had to pull him out of it because he was too physical. Like he was slide tackling 8-year-olds essentially. And you see him take hits and he just bounces back.
He plays a position sort of like a linebacker, but loves the contact, doesn't mind it, and has remained relatively healthy. One hiccup with an ankle early in his career, but he has bounced back from that and has become one heck of a player.
You know who else has? Josh Allen. He's on Monday Night Football Week 6. The AFC East tops team, the Bills, taking on the Titans in Nashville with Derrick Henry, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Coverage starts Monday Night Countdown, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. This young man, if you watched him at Wyoming, he was really good, but not everybody thought he was going to become this.
Is that plus some now? They are humming.
Burmeister into the wind, left it short, and I believe a marker is going to come in. It is not. Marquez Williams got into the body of Turner. That looked like interference to me, Andre.
That was interference, Jace. That's not the offensive player in me, right as you see the receiver.
Yeah, that's
Turner trying to get back. He's having his arms tangled up with the corner to that side. Williams. That's interference all day long.
That's textbook interference. It was very catchable. And Justin Fuentes got to be really hot because the interference didn't get called on the interception that set up Pitt earlier. Now Burmeister gets out of the pocket, gets hit, and he tries to scoop it out of bounds as he heads toward the sideline. Morgan got him, and we'll see what the ruling is on this. Did he indeed pass the ball? And if he did, it would be incomplete. I believe there's a marker down as well. If he threw the ball, you could argue for intentional grounding as well.
Outside the pocket, did he get back to
There
the
is no
line of
foul
scrimmage?
for intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside the tackle box, and the pass crossed the line of scrimmage.
There you go.
Incomplete pass.
Good call.
You just laid out all the standards, and the official just said the
Third
same
down.
thing. You memorized the rule book yet again.
And a heads-up play by Burmeister to not take a loss. Just kind of gets bumped off course by Morgan, who was dropping into coverage of all things from his defensive end spot. So Braxton's seeing everything today that Randy Bates has to offer as a defensive coordinator.
Sees a 4-man rush here, and it gets to him. Oh, a bull rush by Cansey. I mean, he absolutely broke down the door and sacked Burmeister. Whoa.
He is opposite of Camp. Both are super talented. They run a game where they bring him across along with one of the other defensive linemen, and he's able to get home.
Well, that was they had the running back Holston trying to block him, and he just got absolutely flat.
Yeah, it may have been Savasier Dennis in there, and he slides one way and allowed Cansey to come the other way, and then it was, as you mentioned, just a bull rush to the quarterback.
So timeout Pitt. They will get a chance here. The 6th time in 8 possessions Virginia Tech went without a first down.
Well, you got to watch the amount of times that you keep giving the ball back to Kenny Pickett. So with any type of return, he's going to be close to midfield here.
Again, the wind holds up that punt, so even without the return, this is going to be right at the 50-yard line for Pitt with 1:05 and counting.
And 2 timeouts.
Yeah, 2 timeouts. Hey, Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Moss Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention, and go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. We like Taco Bell. We are the late night food crew.
We'll try a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we will end up just about anywhere after it.
Mine can't be too long, though.
That's right. That's the only requirement. More than 15 cars in the drive-thru, we're not going.
We're going. We're moving on.
Minute 4 for Kenny Pickett and Pitt. Time to hop in the pocket and then throw it, nearly intercepted. Jamari Connor almost ran away with a pick down the sideline.
He doesn't throw a lot of them. He's only thrown one the entire year, so when you get an opportunity to come up with one, you got to make the most of it. He's working in man-to-man coverage against Stovall and was stride for stride with him.
Pickett incomplete for Taysir Mack.
Well, they trust him. That's just a trust of another level, because a lot of coaches, they didn't trust the quarterback. The ball would be on the ground, a draw play, a screen to see if you could get a drive starter, and then you'd elect to go ahead and get into the offense or the hurry up to try to score before halftime. They go right to dropping Kenny Pickett back. That shows me there's a lot of trust from head coach Pat Narduzzi and offensive coordinator Mark Whipple.
Part of it might be they don't think Virginia Tech can score against their defense. Pickett again down the middle for Stovall, and it's knocked away. 4th down.
Yeah, punt it away, play the field position game here.
Now, if you're Virginia Tech and you get the ball at the 5 or 10 yard line, you just basically run out the clock.
No, I got 2 timeouts. I need points. I'm trying to score. You know, field goal at the least of touchdown is a bonus, but you've got to take care of it as well. And then my next message would be, hey, let's catch the football when it's thrown in your area.
Andre, they have run 4 plays Virginia Tech has in Pitt territory all half. This punt ends up in the end zone. So a little opportunity for Virginia Tech from the 20-yard line with 41 seconds to go in the second quarter. Winner of this game goes to 2-0 in the Coastal Division. And with Miami trailing against North Carolina, just about everybody else would have 2 losses in the division. As you see Pittsburgh just wailing on the host.
Just 76 yards of total offense here in the first half for a stingy, or for Virginia Tech against a stingy Pitt defense.
Has a quarterback's jersey ever told the story more than the back of Burmeister's jersey, which needs some bleach? Virginia Tech will run it on 1st down with Blacksburg.
There's an opportunity here. I'd be using I'd use a timeout, something, but they're getting it in the second half. Get some cheap points here.
Now Burmeister to roll out. They wasted some time, and he goes down, sacked by Cam Bright.
There are a lot of good linebackers. Wendell Davis, Bright, Savassier Dennis, who's in the game for Phil Campbell, who is another talented player. They are tremendously deep. 22 players deep, as Randy Bates told us the other day on defense.
This is not a happy crowd in Blacksburg. 21-0. The Hokies will have it out of halftime, but Pitt has a big lead. And now time for the halftime report. Kevin Connors and Mike Golick Jr., gentlemen.
Welcome to the Geico Halftime Report.
This is the ACC on ESPN. Winner of this game has a clear inside track for the ACC's Coastal Division, and right now it's Pitt by 3 touchdowns in front of a tough crowd. They were tough on Pittsburgh early. They were tough on their own offense going into the half. So, Andre Ware, I ask you, what is it going to take for Virginia Tech to get your football here into the end zone?
I think they've got to do something establishing the line. Out a little bit.
I mean, overall, just 7 yards on the ground as the kickoff will go to Virginia Tech, and they'll have it at the 25-yard line. Kark, what you got?
Well, Andre, you're talking about Virginia Tech's offense and what they need to do. I just spoke to Justin Fuente. He asked me, have you seen a Pat Narduzzi defense the last 20 years? They dare your playmakers on the perimeter to make plays. It's all one-on-one. He challenged that offensive group to make plays and do something about it. Some other updates. Jermaine Waller in the second quarter got his left foot taped. He looked like he was hobbling around. His status uncertain. He's their top corner. And don't forget, guys, Dax Hollifield is back in the second half after sitting the first half after a targeting penalty against Notre Dame a week ago.
Kark, thank you. He is a big-time fixer on that defense. We'll see if he helps Virginia Tech. But again, this was a 7-point game with 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, I think both coaches felt like, they had to win on the outside defensively. Nice little end around there by Tavion Robinson. But, when you look at it, that was the first thing, one of the first keys to the game that Justin Fuente mentioned to us, that they have to win on the outside all day, was how he stamped that comment. And there's just been inconsistencies there. Credit Braxton Burmeister. He's thrown some nice balls, but we've seen a lot of balls touch the grass.
Yeah, we have 7 for 20 in the first half for Burmeister. Trying to avoid their 6th 3-and-out of the ball game. Virginia Tech's offense. Here comes Dennis, got a hand in there, and it's incomplete. It was dropped by the tight end, Gallo.
And to our point, when you can talk about moving it and winning battles on the outside and the running game, guys just have to make plays. It gets as simple as throw and catch. And that's a well-thrown ball that would have been close to a first down for Virginia Tech, and it winds up on the grass.
We got it past the Servassier rush there, but ball falls incomplete, and Pitt will get it 58 seconds in to the second half. Barton on the return. Got himself to the sideline and got dropped out of bounds at the 48. Kark, you talked to Pat Narduzzi.
Yeah, all 11 players, and then some, because they're deep on defense. That's what he said in regards to how well the defense played. They were in unison, and they played with a tremendous amount of passion. He thinks offensively they're handling the defensive front of Virginia Tech pretty well. He knows that's one of the top units in the ACC. Kenny Pickett is making plays with his feet. He's extending the offense with his athleticism, his IQ, and obviously his arm. And then an update on Jermaine Waller, who's wearing number 25 today. He's in a boot, so it does not look like he will return.
That's a tough loss for Virginia Tech's defense. Vincent Davis slashing and driving, running straight into Peoples. And finally, the play ends with a stalemate down to the deck as Connor came to help.
Boy, and we saw Waller and what he means to Virginia Tech's defense in the first half, and some pretty good coverage. And I know that there was a receiver that made one catch over Wayne at one point, but he just so big on Virginia Tech's back end.
Pickett whirling and leaning, and he does get to the 46 as you saw Dax Hollifield back in. Very important player, and he's moved to his original position he was recruited to, and Justin Fuente says that has been massive for this defense.
And he mentioned as well, how many corners do you have to play against their receivers? And when you're down one like Waller, that certainly hurts.
Kroll, the tight end, split out wide to the right as Pickett goes over the middle and has a first down for Taysir Mack. Decisive driving throw from Pickett.
Big play, third down. Where do you go? You go to the area where Waller has vacated, and that's his replacement. Armani Chapman into the game, working that side against a big play receiver like Mack. It's a tough job to do, and he's in press coverage trying to do it.
Pickett, Hollifield was coming. Pickett goes toward the sideline and incomplete. Mack the intended target. Chapman there with him, second down.
He's trying to give Mack the time necessary for the route to develop. It was a double move, and Pickett got pressure. So he just hung it in the air, hoping that Mack could run under it by the time he got to the end zone. Smart player. The receivers in this Pitt offense always have a chance to catch the ball. That's why you got to be alert at all times.
Screen for Bartholomew, who had the touchdown earlier, and he gets dumped at the 29 by Jamari Connor. Third down and 6.
That's a good tackle. Great open field tackle by Connor.
Think about what Pat Narduzzi said about his own defense for Pitt and how they like to avoid forcing guys to make tackles in space. Connor did it very well protecting.
He's the glue of the back end, that's for sure.
Addison in motion into the slot on the right, and a flag comes in. It's a false start.
Maybe a big break for Virginia Tech.
Prior to the snap, full start, number 77, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Now it's to your advantage defensively when it's, you know, third down and 10 or so than it is third and 5, and you can dial up some things if you're Justin Hamilton to take advantage of the down and distance.
What will he dial up?
I'd bring some pressure. I'm not going to let Cody Pickett sit back there and survey and dissect. Make him speed the process up a little bit, but you've got to be able to certainly hold up on the back end.
Kenny Pickett over to talk to Bartholomew for a moment, who's in the bunch with the second tight end Kroll there as well. Pickett fading back, gets it right to the stick and Wayne, and they're going to mark him just short. Wayne saying that he was right there at the marker. The official is marking him back further. Let's see where the ball is when he caught it.
He likes the matchup on third down. Second consecutive third down that he's gone to that side to Waller's replacement, Chapman.
Now, where is the ball when he catches it is the question. Not where the legs are, but where's the ball?
I think it's a good mark, a good spot. I wouldn't mess around with it here either. This quarterback sneak right here.
4th and 1, there's Pickett, and he does have the first down for Pitt.
They left the right guard. It looked like no one was over it. Just that area vacated, and so you know the quarterback sneak's coming, and he's got a place to go with it because of the uncovered right guard for short yardage.
Pat Narduzzi's still mad about the spot. Dear Pat, you're good. You got the first down.
It's fun to talk to him this week.
He's a good man.
Talk defense, and recruiting philosophies, and the overall structure of how his program has been built. He's got it rolling right now.
Pickett surveys, throws sideline, tipped away by Connor in front of Taysir Mack.
And getting some help over there for Chapman, because they're kind of taking turns right now. Mack, and, along with Wayne, working that side of the field against Chapman.
So if you know help's coming, what are you doing if you're Pitt here?
Well, you may look at it knowing all along you're going somewhere else, but try to pull coverage there, get an extra defender in that area.
Vincent Davis in the arms of Tisdale down to the 20.
We haven't seen Kroll, who is excellent in the red zone. Have 5 touchdown receptions already this year. But that's another weapon when you get down here close to the red zone. 3rd down. I remember I told you 2 consecutive plays. They've gone man-to-man with number 27, Armani Chapman, and anybody that's lined up on his side. So here we go again.
He's up top with Mack. Kroll in the slot on the bottom. Pickett looking that direction to the end zone with some contact, and a marker comes in against Chapman. Oh, Virginia Tech's fans do not believe they know what pass interference is today at Lane Stadium. They went right after Chapman again, Andre.
Pass interference, 27 defense, 15-yard penalty, and an automatic. First down.
I absolutely don't know why coaches don't do it more often. Guy leaves the game hurt. The backup is coming in. That's where I'm going, especially on money downs, 3rd down. That's the 3rd consecutive 3rd down that Kenny Pickett's gone to that side at number 27, Armani Chapman. If he were kind of a starter, so to speak, then he'd already be in the game. But he's coming in cold for Waller. That I'm really throwing at you at that point in time.
Crowd very restless with that penalty. Davis, the tailback behind Bartholomew, and he keeps his feet long enough to get in. Strong run from Davis, touchdown Pitt.
It's why this team averages 52 points a game. They can run it, but they throw it to be able to run. They will spread you out, throw the football around, and then hand it off underneath like that to Vincent Davis, where it's a little bit easier to run block up front. Bartholomew and Kroll threw nice blocks at their tight end spots to help Davis get into the end zone.
He was their leading touchdown maker on the ground 2 years ago. Junior out of Fort Lauderdale, and Pitt has a 4-score lead at Virginia Tech. Panthers haven't won here the last 2 times they visited. This has been much. Watch list here is the Pitt band, which has been thrown up in the corner of Lane Stadium here. Watches over a 28-0 lead for the Pitt Panthers. Thomas on the return, and our college football Saturday lineup continues on ABC and the ESPN app tonight. Number 4 Oklahoma, after beating Texas last week in a comeback, trying to avoid a post-Longhorn letdown, as they say, against TCU. Saturday night game presented by Capital One. Now the Longhorns had the letdown today against the fighting Gundy.
Yeah, a little hangover from last week's game against Oklahoma, and we may see Cincinnati move to number 2 4 days in.
Trey Turner, the target from Burmeister, and a big play for Virginia Tech against Williams. Finally something to cheer for the crowd offensively.
Finally a receiver holding on to a deep ball to help his quarterback. Well thrown ball.
Out to Turner, and he's able to hold on to it. First explosive
play that Pitt has given up all game long.
Now they run with Blackshear, and he gets about 2.
You talk about this defense and just the talent that's been on campus, the pass rushers that have been there. Aaron Donald comes to mind. Hugh Green. Remember him?
I do.
Yeah, 2nd in the Heisman at Pitt, one of the best to ever do it in that Pitt uniform. There's some guys that, you know, from a long time ago that they're still doing it, and it's their mainstay has been defensive line play.
Steelers don't have to go very far to watch their future players. They share the facility there in Pittsburgh. Quick screen on the middle screen, and this is Tavion Robinson, who's down to the 20.
A couple of times cutbacks have hurt Virginia Tech. If he just stays out the front door, he's got way more yardage than he ends up with at the 20-yard line. But he tries to cut back when the blocking is set up for him just to stay front side.
Is that a vision issue? What?
Yeah, it might be. Maybe something or someone flashes, but he'll see it on film tomorrow that, boy, I should have just stayed out the front door.
They're going to run it with Blacksburg, and he is very close to the line to gain. It is a first down to the 18.
Best offensive possession that Virginia Tech has had in this game. And it became by way of an explosive pass play to Trey Turner to get him down here.
First trip to the red zone. Last time Virginia Tech was shut out at home, it was against Cincinnati back in 1995. Burmeister to the end zone, and that has got to be a marker. O'Brien the coverage against Robinson.
Yeah, the fans finally get what they want because they were in an uproar earlier, and they're going to get the interference call and a fresh set of downs.
Number 25, defense, 15-yard penalty, and an automatic. First down.
They called it on poor A.J. Woods, who wasn't even in the zip code. It's P.J. O'Brien.
Yeah, the freshman working on the back end against Robinson, one of the top 2 receivers here at Virginia Tech. So now an opportunity to put points on the board and climb right back in this game, or start to make their way back into this game.
Got to start somewhere.
You have to score the first one before you can score 4 more.
Blacksburg, the tailback. Burmeister on the roll. Davis is after him. Burmeister to the end zone, and it's sprung free, incomplete.
Just ran out of time, and Pitt so fast, so aggressive. They make Burmeister make a quicker decision than he wanted. He's trying to go back across the field to one of his tight ends, Julius, on a crosser, but couldn't really square his shoulders up because of the pursuit.
Holston in now as a tailback. Burmeister off the short set, breaks to the outside. You see Pitt speed again closing. He thought he had a lane to run in. Then there were suddenly 3 Panthers.
Yeah, and then spun the wrong way because the primary portion of the route was to his right. When he went left, there's not a receiver over there, maybe one. But if you can escape right, now you got the defense, it's to your advantage. So just kind of knowing where the formation, what play was called there, where the strength of the offensive set is. So you got a place to go. There's nobody on the backside other than a blocker and Caleb Smith.
Saw Desmond Alexander, who had the first pressure there. Third down now for the Hokies, and false start. The snap was an odd one.
False start. Number 60, offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Jancy, the right tackle.
Just got down here, but now they're making it tough on themselves. And I think it's 4-down territory when you're down, obviously 28-0.
Got to be, right?
Yeah, you get inside the 5. Now you're still inside the 10-yard line. You got to go for it.
Blacksburg back in. 3rd and goal. Burmeister near side, incomplete off the hands of Caleb Smith. But a marker does come in against Damari Mathis.
And they're going to get another lifeline with an interference called against Mathis.
Pass interference. Number 21, defense. By rules, the ball replaces the 2-yard line.
That's 4 more downs, and just kind of grabbed a hold of the outside portion of the arms of Smith. Smith still should have caught the football. Well thrown ball by Burmeister. We've seen it all game long. The drops starting to stack up, but that one right between the 8 and the 0.
Then they score from the 2. Blacksburg, the tailback. Burmeister to throw toward the corner, and beautiful grab by Robinson. Oh, he hauled it in from down on the deck for the touchdown with a flag in.
Looked like one hand that he reels it in with. It's a heck of a catch. And I think it's going to stand.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 25. The penalty's declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
A.J. Woods, the other corners working against Robinson. Just one hand. Bring that baby in with one hand. A couple of great catches in this game.
That's insane what he just did right there.
Catch by Jared Wayne earlier, and then that one. See a couple of highlights tonight.
Robinson, former high school quarterback, who really took to the wide receiver position very quickly. As the extra point is through, Virginia Tech trying to mount a comeback and hope the defense can make a big play. Does fall to North Carolina, and they were trailing at last check 31-17, but driving. Everybody else would have 2 losses except the loser of this game. So if you win this game, you got a big lead.
Yeah, make it tough for anybody else to get back in it. I don't know that he was going to catch this Pitt team. A lot of time here in this one, but they are tough.
Barton on the return. And he gets to the 24. By the way, while we were away, they were checking on Arizona State. He is a really tough customer playing quarterback for the Sun Devils. Pickett on the run. It's knocked away by Chapman. Picking on him again against Tayseer Mack. Connor was there as well, right behind him.
That's why you got to have thick skin to play corner and a short memory, because wherever Chapman is lined up, and he was not in his normal spot of right corner or to the defense's left, they moved him over, and the ball still found its way to his area of the field.
Now they have Mack and Chapman from the same location. This is Mack, and it's behind him and dropped. 3rd down for Pitt.
I don't know. Usually don't see that from Kenny Pickett. That's almost a gimme to Mack. I'm not sure if he had a throwing lane or had to kind of figure out a way to get it out of there to Mack. He's so accurate with the ball that you don't see plays like that on his film.
Kenny Pickett, who came in for Ben DiNucci here at Virginia Tech back in 2018, leading 28-7. They double Garbutt, he can't get there. And now the Clemson transfer Williams does, and a flag comes in all the way back at the 18.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hold against Drexel, the center.
Holding, number 16, offense, half the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
He had his hands full with Jordan Williams, one of those talented defensive tackles for Virginia Tech.
Correction, the penalties decline, 4th down.
They decline the penalty. Now look, this is exactly what you want if you're Justin Fuente.
Yeah, score. You get off the field on a 3 and out. Not much time is off the clock because Pickett went out of bounds, and they're going to have some decent field position in which to start the drive and an opportunity to get closer in this game. One at a time.
28-7. Very windy day here in Blacksburg. We've seen it play tricks with punts all day long as Christodoulou boots it to Robinson. From the 29, Robinson gets swarmed. Adamitis, the long snapper, got down there to slice him. He got the first hit on Robinson. How about that? 28-7. Deep hit to Trey Turner. So Braxton Burmeister, who missed Turner just off his fingertips late in the game against Notre Dame and said he was replaying it over and over again in his mind during the last week. Hit on that one as they go pump fake for Lofton, and Burmeister to run. He's got a crease and then some down to the 46 into the arms of Mathis.
Kind of surprised it took this long to run Braxton Burmeister. Sims from Georgia Tech opened the game last week against Pitt, took advantage of their aggression and ran quarterback draw to the tune of about 23 yards to start the game. I thought Virginia Tech would get to it much sooner.
They have not. Now Turner on the comeback. Turner down the sideline to the 41. Marquez Williams couldn't grasp him. Gain of 12.
A nice job of throwing the football. The wind is down a little bit. Not quite blowing as hard as it was earlier in the game. And now, whichever end you're going towards, you can throw the football with some consistency.
Burmeister lets it rip again. Far side, dropped again. Another drop for the Hokies. Lofton, the freshman, and downstairs to Cart.
The second quarter, we saw Keyshawn Camp, starting defensive tackle for Pitt, leave the field. He went into the locker room. He's in street clothes. He's done for the day. Look for Tyler Bentley, 92 in white, to step up. This is a deep defensive line. You don't want to lose a guy like Keyshawn Kemp, but they are loaded in terms of depth. They'll run plenty of guys at you.
Yeah, David Green, Devin Danielson, Bentley, as you mentioned, DeAndre Jules. They are loaded at that tackle spot.
Blacksburg drops the shoulder here on a second down run. It'll be third down coming up for Virginia Tech and manageable from the 37.
Good mixture of run and pass here by Justin Fuente and Brad Cornelson. Big down here to pick up the third down to keep this drive alive and keep their chances alive.
This would be a go-for-it situation, you'd imagine, if it was, say, 4th and 5.
I like the slot in with freshman Lofton.
They clear him and go to the sideline. Robinson incomplete.
They had what they wanted at pre-snap with Lofton matched against Patrician in the slot. And then they move him away from it to get the isolated one-on-one. And I think it was just Robinson mistiming his jump. Ball was thrown well. He just mistimed.
They are going to go for it on 4th down. 4th and 5, Virginia Tech, a must-have here.
Got the look again with Patrician in space.
Yep, in the slot. Looking toward Robinson and incomplete. It was Robinson against Mathis, just wide from Burmeister. So Virginia Tech had an opportunity there and gave it right back. There's a hush, like an awkward hush that's come over Lane Stadium. So under 4 to go in the third, and we tell you that the NBA's 75th season tips off on Tuesday. Jason Tatum and the Celtics, and the Kemba Walker revenge game against the Knicks, 7:30 Eastern time. Then 10 Eastern, Nikola Jokic, the reigning MVP, who is so fun to watch. It's like watching a 7-point turn, but a very skilled one, with how slowly he moves and watches the game. He'll take on the Suns, who had that fantastic year last year. If you haven't seen Jokic play, he's a very cerebral guy, slow motion in the paint, but so highly skilled.
How close is Murray to being back?
He's on the way. Jamal Murray.
And that's when they will get. That's when the Nuggets will turn the corner.
Yeah, he just a gruesome injury against the Warriors last year, as Davis goes right into Peoples and drives the pile to set up a third down and short for Pitt.
You know, Andre, I know you coach a lot of hoops, and your son Z is an 11-year-old star. When you turn on NBA, who's the guy you want him playing like?
Oh boy, that's a good one. They put me on the spot with that one.
Just say Steph Curry.
No, that's his guy. That's who he likes. But
Pickett to Kroll, first down. He gave you a chance to think it over some more to the 42-yard line.
I like a lot of unselfish guys, like, you know, that play defense and set screens, do the dirty work.
Alex Caruso.
And that's a good one. If you go way back before then, it's, you know, a Rodman type that doesn't have to light it up in the scores category, but you're making an imprint on the game.
Davis down to the ground at the moment that Andre Ware said he wants his son to be like Dennis Rodman.
No, I said play like Dennis Rodman.
That's not what I heard.
You should stand corrected when you say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
The big cat can spin it, Dre.
And I'm starting to see why he gets on your nerves.
Hey, hey, Cart, my partner's not even looking at me right now. I'm to his left. He's looking to the right. It's like we're playing zone defense.
I'm back
up
involved
here.
in this game.
Yeah. Late third quarter, and they'll get to the 41 with Kenny Pickett. Tamari Connor with the hit. It's third down coming up. Andre, what's your call here on third down? This is me making amends.
Yeah, it's been a while, and a long while, since they've gone to or checked the box of Jordan Addison. And sometimes you just got to keep those guys involved. So that's where I'm going if I'm picking, or I'm finding number 27.
We got a flag coming in.
So whoever's lined up with Amani Chapman on it.
Number 4, offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Guess who was lined up on Chapman? It was Stovall.
Yep, and he got
He's
caught.
trying to get him a little head start because he knew that he was going to be the primary in this play call.
Got a little Arena League in there. Justin Fuente played himself in the Arena League for the Oklahoma team back in 01.
He knows a lot of offense, got a lot of creative ideas. Unfortunately today, the drops won't let his offense get going.
Defense needs a stop for the Hokies here. 3rd and 14 for Kenny Pickett. Williams was coming. Pickett had to cut it loose to Wayne, and they'll get to the 41. So it's going to be 4th and about 9.
And a nice job by Chapman of stepping up and holding Wayne shy of the 1st down marker, well shy of it. But he can just about guarantee himself that that's where Pickett is going with the football on 3rd downs. Wherever 27 lines up, ball's going to find him.
You said it. I don't know why more teams don't do that.
Well, when a guy comes in for an injured player, he's been sitting most of the game, so he's not properly warmed up. Let's go at him. Maybe we get him to tweak something too. I mean, that sounds bad, but that's how coaches and players think.
I was going to say quarterbacks think like that too.
No doubt.
Chris Dedulu out of bounds to the sideline, and 13 seconds to go. Kevin Connors, what you got?
Well, Jason, defense optional in Chapel Hill today. Golick, how about Tyler Van Dyke to Jalen Knighton?
Jalen Knighton getting the bulk of the carries now in that backfield. Unfortunately, Cameron Harris left that game with injury, but Knighton explosive.
Sam Howell has a pair of touchdown passes. The Tar Heels lead at 38-34.
Guys, Kevin, I just looked. It was 31-17. Now they got 72 points.
Wow.
What's going on?
And Purdue's pulled further away from Iowa.
All right,
24-7 in that one.
You were right. Maybe Iowa was overranked. Ooh, evil cackle late third quarter.
No. We were talking about this, and I've told you, I felt like even with Alabama losing, that they were so good, so dominant, that they would fall from 1 to 2, and that would be about as far as they would fall. I thought it was crazy that they fell to 5.
They'll probably climb back up. Virginia Tech still has some hope, down 3 scores, 15. Last trip, when the Hokies took on North Carolina. A great man, Frank Beamer, who built this program to what it is today, as Burmeister keeps it, gets a block on the outside from Julius, and has a 1st down. Burmeister across the 30-yard line, gain of 12. Some momentum for Virginia Tech with 15 minutes to go.
And now you see why you scratch your head wondering why they haven't run a BB3 on quarterback runs or called quarterback runs when last week's opponent had so much success doing it against this Pitt defense. I know the shoulder was a bit banged up coming in, but got to run it.
Long pass to the sideline. That one floated on him. Through this wind that's still prevalent, Turner the intended target.
It gusted it up the field. That ball was thrown outside of Turner, and then it ends up the field towards the 1st down marker.
I know you're always looking for good days to go skydiving.
Yeah, this is
Today
not one of them.
Not. I wouldn't do it.
At least not in this area.
Yeah, no. not today. 2nd down for Burmeister, the Oregon transfer on La Jolla Country Day in California. Puts his head down, and he gets met. Oh, Servassier Dennis just crumpled it.
Boy, showing that versatility. They have lined him up everywhere. I mean, close to the line of scrimmage, and Burmeister peels right back into the long outstretched arms of Dennis.
They're playing without Phil Campbell today, and Dennis has taken over with a team-high 8 tackles. And how about him staying with that play there, by the way? 3rd down for Virginia Tech. Burmeister to the sideline, and incomplete for Caleb Smith.
Well, you know you have a man outside. You got to work back to the football to help Burmeister out a little bit.
To the studio, Kevin Connors, Golick.
Hey, Jason, number 2 Iowa behind on all 3 scorecards right now, and goalie David Bell is just destroying them.
He's been an absolute monster today. Came into this game as the Iowa killer, over 200 yards.
24-7, though. The Hawkeyes are marching, Jason.
They're marching. See, Andre, they're the number 2 team in the country.
You got a lot of marching to do.
They do have some marching.
To catch up.
That's right.
They got to march 2 or 3 times.
Injured player on the sideline. Looks like Caleb Smith from Virginia Tech. We'll step aside. Hokies down 21. Caleb Smith down and injured on the Virginia Tech sideline. One of their top receivers. Came in with 12 catches this year. Smith, the redshirt sophomore out of the state of Virginia. And Virginia Tech will punt. Pitt's gotten a big stop here early 4th quarter. Barton wanted to return it and he slipped. So now the ball goes rolling inside the 10-yard line. And a fortunate situation for the Hokies, as this season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate. So Kenny Pickett back onto the field for Pitt, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Why is it, do you think, that he isn't being talked about Heisman-wise, coming in with 19 touchdowns and 1 pick?
That's a great question, because, I mean, this is one of the more complete, and we were talking during the break, one of the more complete football teams, winning a lot of games this year. I think more and more as the season progresses, he's going to get the attention he deserves, but why as to now he hadn't is beyond me.
Tailback Abanikanda with a marker down. Abanikanda driving to the 19. Marker was on the far side.
Illegal formation, more than 4 players in the backfield. Offense, half the distance to the goal. First down.
He brought Addison in motion, and then Addison lined up where he was officially in the backfield.
But, you know, to your question, a lot of guys, a lot of teams in the ACC know all about Kenny Pickett.
Oh, yeah.
45 starts now under his belt, and can move around, can scramble, can move well within the pocket. He's got great size at about 6'4", 220. And can make every single throw.
He had 404 yards against Virginia Tech last year. They'll run the counter again. Abanikanda gets to the outside and skates to about the 15-yard line. Cart, you talked to Kenny Pickett this week. What did you take away from your conversation with him?
Well, I think he's a football junkie, as you see this nice run by Pitt. You know, he was coached by his father, Ken, who was a linebacker at Shippensburg. So he's got like that tough mentality. He also sees the game from 2 different perspectives. The Mark Whipple offensive mind, and his dad, Ken, who he still breaks down film with today. And he said there's a lot of similarities in conversations with his dad. So I think that's a calming presence for him, going from a defensive household to a head coach who's a defensive mind and an offensive coordinator in Mark Whipple, who is seeing the game at a different level.
Well, look, Ken looks like a defensive player.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. You want to disappoint that guy? Are you kidding me? No. Look at the neck roll, the stomach exposed. That is a bad man. I mean, if he's staring at you, Andre,
you're not feeling very good, are you?
No.
If that happens?
No. Let me just get it out of my hands to somebody else quickly.
3rd down and 2 for Ken's son, Kenny. That was Addison in motion. He goes that way, and Addison does have his 5th grab. Out of the spin, he's across the 25 and a 1st down.
That's the first time that he's been targeted in quite some time. Came into the game and on the 2nd drive had a couple of targets there, and since just 2 and 2 receptions, but finally getting back to Jordan Addison.
You know, it's not going to be easy for him, Andre. It won't be easy, but he might be the most famous person out of Frederick, Maryland. Once he's done with his football career, he'd have to beat out the guy who wrote the lyrics to the Star-Spangled Banner, though, Francis Scott Key.
It's a tall order.
Pretty tough. First down and a run for Pitt, and it's Abanikanda whirling to the 39-yard line. Man, does he take contact?
Well, the patience as well.
Hey, Dan Marino, Kenny Pickett, do the comparison shopping. It's actually pretty close, really close.
Dan threw a lot of touchdown passes. Kenny's going to close that gap certainly by season's end, but this year has really been special. Now is in his third year with his offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple. Kark has talked about how special that relationship is, and I think it's really starting to show itself at the right time, the latter year or so of his Pitt career.
Abanikanda again, keeping his feet somehow, just like a pinball off flippers for a gain of 17.
Looks like everybody's trying to strip the football rather than tackle the runner with it. I know he's fast, but just the patience he shows between the tackles. Nobody's tackling him. They're all trying to tackle the football and get the ball out of his hand.
Even Tay Daly, the last guy, is trying to rip it. So Abanikanda to the sideline. Davis back in. Counter, and Davis with a running lane, and he's tripped up right around the line to gain. Why is it so important as a former quarterback yourself to have the same offensive coordinator for the years Kenny Pickett has?
Yeah, because basically you're just building off what you've already learned, and rather than somebody new coming in having to learn new terminology, even if it's the same offense and they have to learn it, it's called differently. So you never really develop that rapport between quarterback and offensive coordinator, or play caller for that matter. But you can build from a foundation when you have Mark Whipple come in and he's there year 2 and now year 3. You're starting to see why that's so beneficial to a guy like Kenny Pickett.
Davis bounce back, and Kark, what you got?
Yeah, the routine alone, Jason and Andre, too. Like, how many quarterbacks do we see between plays walk over to their offensive coordinator, right? I mean, that takes some rhythm. That takes some getting used to in terms of just your cadence and your delivery to the rest of the team in terms of how you relay the play call from the offensive coordinator to the play itself. And it's a unique situation. I mean, Andre, how often do we see this?
Not often. And I'll tell you another thing, just to add a layer onto it, he can go back mid-game with Kenny Pickett and say, hey, you remember how we ran this play, and it could have been in year 1 against this team. Well, they have that rapport. He's going to remember it, and the play gets executed. Well, it looks like he's going to be a little bit short here, Abanikanda. But that's a portion of the relationship that's special as well. And then the trust that if I'm seeing something as a quarterback, you have the trust in me to let me get to it in game. That's when you're really playing with everything you have, rather than one hand tied behind your back. When you see every Saturday a guy's got to look over to the sideline and the coach is calling it, or relaying it in, rather than, hey, you take it, go with what you see.
And he does that. Pickett, it is very close. Let's see, the near side official,
I think he got it,
is right around the 34. It is a first down. You're right. Good call. Yeah, to your point, you're basically saying, if I've got this right, you're basically saying you're not wondering if it's okay to do this.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Sometimes when I developed that chemistry with John Jenkins, he would be in the middle of calling a play, and I could just kind of pump my hand at him. Hey, let me have this when I got it, and he'll just give me, go ahead, you got it. And we'd call the play or at the line of scrimmage and go with it. That's a trust that is, it takes years and years to develop it. But once you have it, then you become a special offense to the tune of what Pitt is doing this year. 52 points a game, 554 yards of total offense. They're excellent on 3rd and 4th down at 46% and 70% respectively. That takes a while to develop that kind of chemistry.
I will say Virginia Tech is helping your yardage records at Houston.
It's and the scoring one as well.
Yeah,
keeping that score down today. He told me the other day, Mark Whipple. He said, if I know that, now that I know it, I'm going to shoot for it.
You know, 28 is going to be enough today. It looks like, with the way the Pitt defense has played. And credit to Pitt's defense. They have played out of their minds today.
Well, as Clark and I were talking about during the break, I mean, it may be one of the more balanced teams on both sides in all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And I would throw Wake Forest in there as well, having every component of the entire team taken care of, depth on both sides and experience to go along with it. This is a good football team we've had a chance to see this afternoon.
And they still, as we said, they have an 8% chance of making the college football playoff entering today, according to FPI. You wonder where they would have been if not for a game where the defense broke down against Western Michigan when they lost in the 40s. We'll step aside.
The quarterback for Pitt, his name was Dan Marino, and I fell in love with those jerseys right then and there. And when they changed to the navy and gold, no, don't do it. They're back.
Clark's been mad about that all week long. He loves the current look so much, and I agree. It's very classy. Abanikanda has had a tremendous day for Pitt. He gets run down at the 21-yard line by Daly.
And only because Daly had an angle on him. But that's the 11th run of this current drive. 12 plays in the drive. They've only thrown the ball once. It's just been the offensive line, and let's turn things over to the big fella and Abanikanda, Davis in the backfield. And they've been able to go right down the field here and really churn out and kill some clock in the process.
Abanikanda had a sit down with Andre Powell, the running backs coach, after last season, and they had to talk about paying attention to detail and why it's important. And Abanikanda has found himself in the lineup more, and you see the improvement with over 130 yards this afternoon. Barno the stop there, and look, we got a lot going on still in college football later on tonight. Alabama on the road.
I do. Going into Utah, no doubt.
I like Ole Miss, Tennessee. I think that's going to be a fun one tonight from Neyland Stadium. Fall start coming.
A lot surrounding that game.
Full start.
With
the
coaching search that wasn't and was. And
check it out.
The 7-6 year that led to USC.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those where something's going to happen.
Any chance that if Tennessee wins that game, they rush the field?
Yes.
Pretty good chance.
Absolutely.
I believe.
Yeah. Second down for Pitt. This was a 7-point game with 6 minutes to go in the first half, and Pitt has expanded the lead to 28-7. This is the first weekend we've had college football where we've been somewhere where it feels like fall is coming. Clark dodged the rain today. It rained earlier today. Clark was in big trouble because he didn't bring his rain gear.
Yeah, and I hear the guy up in the booth, Andre Ware. He lives in Houston. He played in the Dome, and he's complaining upstairs in a nice, cozy, comfortable, warm booth. I'm cold.
It's far from warm up here. Trust me. But you're right. I know you got it a little bit worse than we have it.
Yeah, the big cat's used to it, though. He's from the Windy City.
Yeah, look, I'm a hardy young man. Third down. This is an over 10-minute drive for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Abanikanda got a block on the outside from Wayne. How about Wayne with a 21-point game still engaged in blocking on the sideline with under 3 to go?
You got to do the unselfish work, the dirty work sometimes. And Jared Wayne, and actually all the receivers do a nice job of blocking out on the edges. They take care of one another when it's screen passes, and certainly when they're running the football with Abanikanda and Davis. If those guys are going to turn the corner and get positive plays, you got to have blocks on the outside. They do a great job of it.
Andre, this drive started at 13:28 to go.
They're eating up a bunch of time.
Kenny Pickett down the middle and incomplete. He wanted Addison.
Like Addison just missed time to jump a little bit there.
So we'll step aside. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Andre's going to give Pitt by 21.
Yeah, just a lot of time to throw the football. The offensive line doing a heck of a job for Kenny Pickett throughout this game. Kind of got the scoring started because of nice blocking up front.
Virginia Tech on the run. Malachi Thomas on the carry. Knox Kadum is in, redshirt freshman out of Rome, Georgia. Look, Pitt at this point with this win today, they are the favorite in the ACC, the best chance of a team to make the college football playoff.
Yeah, and I think arguably the more complete team in the ACC right now.
It'll be very interesting to see who ends up coming from the other division with Wake Forest 4-0 in the league at this point.
That would be a fun ACC championship game to watch, both Pitt and Wake. A lot of people still sleeping on Wake.
Yep.
They have got a ton of experience, efficient offense, and they are deep on defense.
Carolina's up 11 right now on Miami. North Carolina up 45-34. So if Miami loses, everybody in the Coastal, other than Pitt and Virginia Tech, would have 2 losses at least. Malachi Thomas across the 35. Now, if you're Virginia Tech, where are you at this point? 3-3, 1-1 in the ACC. What are the Hokies? Would be the question that I have. NC State, Boston College tonight on ACC Network. If you don't have it, go to getaccn.com for instant access. What are the Hokies, Andre?
Yeah, I mean, what's the old saying from Bill Parcells? You are what your record says you are. It's, you know, they've got to get some guys back healthy, find an identity offensively that will allow them to do what they need to do in games, especially early. And the drops certainly have to stop because, you know, those are just drive killers, especially when it's third down.
84 yards on the ground, and a good chunk of that has come on this drive as Pitt puts away Virginia Tech. The Pitt defense was outstanding. Kenny Pickett threw 2 and ran for 1. 28-7 your final score. Pitt absolutely in the driver's seat in the Coastal at this point with that young man at the steering wheel. So we say farewell from Blacksburg. 28-7 the final score. For Andre Ware, for Paul Carcaterra, our entire crew, I'm Jason Benetti. We thank you for watching. Coming up, more college football in the Big 12. Iowa State to the Little Apple to take on Kansas State. But first, back to the studio. Kevin Connors, take it away.